I'm Turk Strongman, current resident at Mind Voltage. Thanks for clicking. I'm going to talk briefly about whether the universe, God, whatever, along that scale of things, makes mistakes. And why it may seem mistakes get made, but they're not actually mistakes. Let's kind of talk, but before I continue. Oh, what does this have to do with you? Yeah, I got to draw you in a little more so you don't click away when I'm telling you to subscribe and donate because I'm poor. What this has to do with you here on this channel is how you view your life. Okay. Subscribe if you haven't done that already. That way you can simultaneously activate the notification bell feature and be apprised of new Mind Voltage uploads. Look just immediately below this media player frame window, and you'll see this icon, thumb up icon. Click on that to instantly and easily share the joy of this channel with others. And just a little further down in the video description area, you will find a donation by PayPal information. Write that down. Make a plan. Fit it in, please. All right. It'll really help here. All right. Let's just say, the universe, okay? We can put in place of universe, our word for the cause of the universe. Along those lines, all right, do mistakes get made? In other words, if you're 60 years old now and you're not successful yet, but you had all the seeming or apparent ducks in a row to have been successful since the age of 30, but it didn't happen. That seems like it just doesn't add up. Was that a glitch somewhere in the course of universal affairs? Was it a mistake? Did a mistake get made? Was something overlooked? Was something ignored? Was your birth a mistake? I mean, shouldn't it have gone differently? And then throw in the idea that life's just not fair, man. Some people seem to get rewarded for the most horrible things. And other people, they're acting the opposite and horrible. And they just keep losing. We're getting nowhere. There's got to be a mistake in there, right? Well, it would seem so, if you ask me. I mean, yeah, it looks like it to me. But I don't think that that's actually the way it is. In other words, I'm disagreeing here. I'm proposing, let's say. I'm forwarding concepts in here. And that's probably closer to the actual state of affairs than what we just laid out here. Right? I agree with the appearance of affairs. Mistakes, glitches, just not working right. But I disagree that means mistakes actually happening. The universe, the ocean of mind power, God, the Holy Ghost, whatever, okay, knows what it's doing. It knows what it's doing. It's not only aware of what it's doing, but it It knows what it's doing. It knows its business. It knows its business. All right? Look, take your subconscious. Let's make an analogy of what I mean by it. It knows its business. That's its business. All right? It's really not yours. You probably don't know much about it. You probably, if you're a plumber, you probably don't know much about the ministry business. Even that. All right. Your subconscious mind. If you want to program your subconscious mind or enter something into your subconscious mind, say for the purpose of letting it incubate there. When you have a problem, you're trying to arrive at a solution or make a decision, or, and you submit the problem to the subconscious mind to work out. Okay, then it's not in your conscious mind anymore. Now, after that, well, unless you think about it, but the work that's now being done after being given to your subconscious mind to do by just doing that, right, to make that happen. Goes about, and then suddenly the solution arises in your conscious mind. So, could it be the case that the subconscious mind made a mistake in the whole thing because it didn't really know how to work right? Didn't know how to do that? Such that maybe next time you embark on doing something like that with your subconscious mind, you not only say what you want, what needs to be considered here, what you want it to do, but you proceed to tell it how to do it. What order to do things in or something to arrive at, the solution to the answer, the decision, whatever you wanted to come up with and bring to your conscious awareness. You go ahead and tell it how to do its job. In case you can't figure that out right away, or you don't already know, that would be a huge mistake. There would be a mistake. It knows better than you do how to do what it does. As a matter of fact, what it does is below your conscious awareness. So how the hell would you justify coming along and telling it how it's supposed to do what it does? You don't even know first thing about how it does what it does. You're not going to offer, any advice that's going to do any damn good. You might just be throwing a monkey wrench into the spokes. All right? Now, that was an analogy, right? Are you going to know better about how the universe is doing things? So that it won't make these mistakes, these apparent mistakes. I don't think so. Chances are, the majority of how it does what it does, and why it does what it does, and when it does what it does, when it does it, is far beyond your conscious awareness. Very, very far from your conscious awareness. So if you feel like you were born at the wrong time, I don't think so. If you feel like because you just feel cheated in life, then there was a mistake, because nobody should be cheated in life, right? Or it's not working out the way it should. You didn't turn 60 years old, now a successful person in life. Therefore, really, you didn't have a life. Anything along these lines? The notion that life's not fair, therefore, it must be a mistake. Everything is supposed to be balances everything out. Everything contributes to an overall balance. But life's not fair. Where's the balance? How about the law of attraction? You apply the rules, you execute the rules with meaningful content, the rules of the law of attraction. You go ahead, you follow the procedure with meaningful content and earnestness, and desire, and will. Like a new car. You want a new car, so you make the announcement to the universe. Fine. You do everything that's stated in the workbooks and by your law of attraction coach. And on a couple of YouTube videos about how to do it. You follow the rules, okay? But there's no new car. When's that supposed to come now? Is there a mistake? I mean, like, was something missing in the formula or the transaction, from stating your desire, putting it out there according to the rules, and whatever it is, like maybe it's the universe is supposed to go to. Okay, the universe just like having been lighting a cigarette at the time and didn't hear you. A mistake of some kind. What? So you do it again. Well, just like in the other case, that would probably be a mistake. What if 9 years later you get a new car? But you got a second job, and in the meantime, you gave up on the law of attraction car. You got a second job, you started saving up money. Tragedies and catastrophes would happen in the meantime. Your plumbing bursts open while you're on vacation in the winter, and you forgot to turn the water off. You had to spend your car savings on new plumbing in your house. Get a new trailer or whatever because of the flood damage while you're on vacation for 2 weeks. Any of these things, why might all that come about? And then after 9 years, you finally can buy a new car. Well, then, isn't it that, like, the universe that just made a mistake and the law of attraction doesn't work? After all, it took 9 years. That was 9 years ago. You can barely remember doing that back then, right? Doing the law of attraction thing. 9 years later, and you had to work for it. And then after you ordered the car, because you placed an order, you just didn't go to the car lot and pick one. No, you wanted one like that, but red. Well, it actually, and a few other changes. It actually ended up being 6 months before you got your car. What the hell? That has nothing to do with the law of attraction. It can't. But what if it was the result of it anyway? Why might it have taken so long? Is that a mistake? Or is that the way it really works? Or do you think that by applying the law of attraction one afternoon and having a new car sitting outside your house, you don't even know how it got there, but it's yours all of a sudden? It's your new car, just out of nowhere. Like any other car, that car had to be manufactured. When it came to custom job, or a different color than the standard color for that model that year. It might have been a huge backlog. while at the same time, the manufacturing plant had an order to send to Japan 100,000 of them, and that had priority. All the materials for that car, yours now, had to be pulled together. It took time. And did you really think you were going to get a car with it for free? Like it just manifested? You know, supposedly you're manifesting. You know, you're using the law of attraction to manifest. But did you manifest a car out of nowhere? No, it's not going to happen like that. It has to come through the same way any other car would come through for anybody else. It takes time. Now, that's just a rough example. Were mistakes being made over those 9 years? Was it just a big mistake? No. Life isn't fair. Supposedly everything's always in balance. Everything balances out everything else. But then why this shit? Big mistake now, huh? Something's not right. Well, the idea that we understand what balance is at every moment in real time is probably mistaken. And what if you set a chain of causes in motion today? And it involved some anger, ill words spoken, injuring somebody perhaps by mistake, but out of anger and a momentary feeling of loathing of that person. Well, it seems like there's something that will be balanced back out. But when? We don't really know, do you? What's it going to seem like when that happens? Is it going to be the same thing done to me? Maybe. There are a lot of other things that could balance it out too, though, aren't there? And the longer it takes, maybe the more different it's going to be. For example, if it takes 20 years, let's say you putting those causes into motion is like setting an alarm. But it doesn't ring till 20 years later. Are you even going to remember setting it? If you remember the act, unless you consider, wow, why is that alarming? Oh, I've set alarms before, but are you going to know which one? If you remembered every specific instance, are you going to remember them all as they really happened? There's a lot of doubt in there, isn't there? Overall. And is the alarm or, the effects from those causes at last going to be an equal and opposite reaction to what took place 9 years before? No, it will at least contribute to balance. It might have to work in tandem with other things. It might take another 20 years. The universe has all the time in the universe. Things take time. Things require resources to come together. And things on special request, especially, are, requests involving the universe switching around a lot of things on your behalf. And that's going to add to the time, perhaps significantly. I mean, if in this kind of case, the universe is going to provide then as a result of your law of attraction activity exactly to the detail what you stated you wanted. Well, then you're not giving it the option to do an equal substitute to make things go quicker, although that would be perfectly fine. You probably would, the universe might know the difference, but you might not even notice a difference. But there's a substitute in there, like, let's say, being born with everything, being what you need in this life, okay? Well, there are probably several sets of parents around that same time that you're born, in even the same country, with the same religion, but different DNA. That will do. Is this a mistake? No. No. Because that's how it works. That is how it works. You tell me how else it's going to work. You try telling the universe how else it's going to work. And now the point of this video, you try telling yourself now that you've heard all of this. Believably telling yourself, tell yourself, my life, aspects of my life, that are a mistake. Or try to believe this one. Like you, quote, I feel like my life has been one huge mistake. Or something went wrong. I'm not successful and I'm 60 years old. Or I'm 60 years old, I'm not successful, and therefore I didn't really have a life. Where's my life? I tell you where it is. It's you. The real you, right? The part that doesn't change. In there, the essential I that you call yourself, right? Being given existence in this world. In other words, spiritual existence, mental existence, emotional, if that's a distinction to you, and energy existence, and physical material existence. That covers it. In this world. There it is. Your acquired ideas about what it should be like or how the universe should be doing things on its, cosmic level or with regard to your personal level, individual level. Either one. Don't even go there. Because it's poor thinking. Okay? And we're talking about a major part of your life here. In other words, your perception of your life and how it's going in this universe. As part of the universe. Right? Don't get too decisive about what's correct and what's error, okay? In that operation involving you. Okay? So this is I'm hoping that this has actually been helpful for you. Number one, to just consider some probably actual states of affairs about operations, relevant operations, consider them in a way that you haven't before. There's some really cool understanding to be got from that specific consideration here, this one. But also to help you have a better perspective, a more balanced and correct, non-erroneous, non-mistaken view of you and your life right now. So, if you haven't subscribed yet, well, now's your chance. Go ahead and do it right now. That way you can also activate the notification bell feature so that you can be apprised of Mind Voltage's new uploads. Act now! Immediately below this media player window, you will find a thumb up icon, as I said before. Click on that to immediately and easily share the joy of this channel with others. Act now! And further down, just a little bit further down from that thumb up icon, and you just now clicked on in the video description area, is donation by PayPal information. We'll go ahead and write that down. Act now. All right, I'm Terry Strawman, current resident at Mind Voltage. See you next time.